And good evening, everybody. This is Michael Filighera. I am with logicalsignals.com and tradershelfingtraders.com. And this is the Elliott wave update for the S&P 500 for Thursday, September 30th, 2021. End of the quarter, end of the month, all as we are getting ready to dive off a cliff. A very interesting day today. So let me get right into it. I'm starting on the 4-hour chart because it seems to present a little bit clearer picture about where we're coming from and what that was and where we're now going. And I've left this count as is, as intermediate 1, intermediate 2. That would put us in an intermediate third wave. That third wave is often, most often, the longest and the strongest out of the 1, 3, and 5 waves within an impulse move. This impulse move is to the downside. So wave 3 would be expected to really pick up the steam and go. No hesitation, no waiting, just go. And it's at that point, and I've told you before, that now we're on a little bit bigger scale of that point of recognition. I know we've had them. We've had one here. We had one here. These are points of recognition, but now we're having another one, and it's at a much higher level. So within this intermediate third wave down, there are 5 waves of minor degree. Now, I had labeled them differently yesterday, but that was based on what the market was telling us at that point. I now took a step back. I've taken a stand, I stepped back to look, and I put up to the 4-hour chart, and I looked at the structure. And I'm pretty satisfied with this and this, but leaving it as 1 and 2. And then I changed it to make this minor 1. I talked about that yesterday. Well, I looked at it today and feel more comfortable in putting it there, which leaves this as 2. And we're now entering the third of a third. Now that would be within this, we get another point of recognition. Now I'm just going to take this out and then back again so that I can demonstrate what we're looking at. All right, so I'm going to try to get it as big as I can. Well, it's big as we can do right now. You can see that's the fourth in of going up. And so it did provide some support. And now it's providing resistance. So interesting. And that is at 43.47.75. We came down it before, it supported it, we rallied, but now we're breaking through it. So that's done. That gives us more confirmation, support that we are dropping in a third. Now, within that, yesterday in the position of the market, I had been discussing that it looked like it was a 1, 2, 1, 2, and it was going to drop off a cliff. Now I'm going to go back down to the hourly chart, open it up so that we can see inside this whole thing. 1 and 2 here. So 1, 2. So it'll be 2. We've got 1, 2, and now we have 1, 2. Or this is going to be 1, and we're going to get 2. One way or the other. This is going to start to subdivide. So what we're definitely looking for within this is more acceleration. And what it also suggests that the rebound rallies, the bounces within this decline, will also increase with volatility. So we can't underestimate them at all. They're going to happen, and they're going to be of decent size. This bounce started at 43.04 and went up to 43.43. That's 39 ES points at $50 a point. I don't think you're going to hold a short, even though you know, because you know it's going to go back down. The wave count itself tells you it's going to go back down, but you can't sit with a short and hold out. Why would you want to do that? When all you need to do is recognize what's going on, that the volatility is increased, the move's going to be a little bit more exaggerated, and you join it and you play it. Now again, 1-hour chart, you can see it zipped up there and it zipped right back. It left a big topping tail. That was your clue. That's over. And you just shorted on the next bar. And then you're off to the races to the downside yet again. So what I see is that we're going to continue to go down, and we should actually accelerate. Going back out to that 4-hour chart. I want to make it bigger. Accelerate. Here's next. 42.24. Well, here we have 42.15. And that level is just where this particular wave would be equal in length to this wave. And I'm already telling you the way I think this thing is positioned, it should sail through that level. And this is the zone that now exists of where I think this wave should go. That's what I think the market is confronting. A little bit stronger, a push, a little bit more convincing that the market's not really accepting what's happening around it. And what I mean by that is the messages that the Fed is kind of sneaking out as Jerome Powell goes around and speaks, and other Fed governors are speaking at institutional meetings, banking meetings, et cetera, et cetera. But they're passing a message, and it's pretty much all the same. And the market is now kind of picking up on that and realizing that it's probably not the best situation. And regardless of what the bonds themselves are going to do, they're going to do what they do. And equities are going to do what they do. And it is all going to be related to what's happening at the top of the food chain, which of course is interest rates themselves. It's becoming more apparent that higher rates are inevitable. Higher rates are, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And the market needs to prepare for that. So when we see shifting of a lot of funds in and out and around, but in any case, I don't want to pin my hat on that being the reason. I'm going to pin my hat that it's being the reason because of what the wave count and the price action is telling me. And I have this high is, and I will go into much, much greater detail. I'm going to do another little bit longer update and over the weekend. And it's going to be one that you're going to want to watch because again, I'm going to entitle it, Are You Prepared? Because I think it's now time to make clear it's like the potential of what we're confronting. And it's not the end of the world, but it is going to be presenting some pretty incredible opportunities to make a great deal of money. And that's why I think it's important to say, are you prepared? For the type of trading that I do and that what I see going on, this one's going to be important. I digress. Let me go back. So I think that we're starting to really begin a period where we will accelerate. If you remember yesterday, I also discussed rushing the count, rushing the market. Hey, I'm already counting 3 or 4 or 5. This would end that move. What do you mean? I haven't seen this. I haven't seen the acceleration. Oh yeah, well, we got a little bit. That's rushing the count. It's going to happen. But understand that it's like, we may see it. And now we just have to be patient. And we have to trade what's in front of us. So we're going to see that acceleration start, but we're going to see the acceleration when the buyers decide to step in. It's going to go both ways. And that's the beauty of just being able to trade with the ebb and flow. So I think that we may begin this period. So I'm believing that we should, pretty sure, get below this 42.93. And we have gotten down to, I think, 94. So we got another point. But then I think we break below 92, and I think we start breaking towards 70. The break below 70 is where I think we could get acceleration. And that acceleration will likely drive us right down to here. That's my feeling of how I'm interpreting and what the market may do. And it might be that 3 or 3 point. But ultimately, we will finish the third, we'll do a fourth, and then we'll do a minor fifth. And it's that minor fifth that I think could bring us down into here. If not, we're heading much lower. Now, again, I do believe over time that's where we're going to go. So all I'm trying to do is map it and put some parameters around a day-to-day basis. And then also put some parameters around what we can expect from both sides of the market. Volatility is increasing on both sides of the market. If you're an option trader, you're going to see premiums come up. The volatility is going to push prices higher, both calls and puts, because there's a lot of uncertainty. And the buyers are coming in as as hard as the sellers. Okay, so there's our support. Upside, I'm going to bring this back down again. Let's take a look at the 30-minute so we can just kind of take a peek at what they're looking like. Here again, you know, we have stronger upside, but look at it's just full of what we call tails, topping tail. It's small topping tail, small, and then you get a big move. That's going to be the continuation. But inside this is another 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. So we are still at that moment of, we're about to do an additional swan dive off of the high board. And that's the one that I think we're going to get down to at least here. That's my take. And so pullbacks, they're going to be intense, but they're still just going to be pullbacks. I'm more not convinced, but I feel stronger about that we're going to see acceleration. How do you want to play it? Carefully. The moves are going to be fast. The moves are going to be vicious. Play carefully and just trade what's in front of you. Stay in the now. Stay in tune with your moving averages. They'll help you on the 1, 2, and 5-minute chart to capture and catch bounces. Your higher time frame charts will help you get a real vision on the 200, the 50, and the 20. Your 20, you're going to keep on your 5-minute, and you're going to keep an eye on it because it will help guide you. Is this a bigger bounce, or is this just going to be like controlled by the 20? And look at that. The 20, bing, bing, bing. Taking it down. This is on the 30-minute. Bing, bing, bing. The 20 is walking it down. Now it's way down, but you can see how the 20 controlled that drop. Now, this is getting very long. I'm sorry for that. Tomorrow, be on the lookout. Trade what's in front of you. Don't get married to downside or upside. They're both going to happen. Just go with the flow. And with in mind that I believe that if we're going to accelerate, where we're going to get those bigger moves, I believe it will be to the downside. We will get upside nice moves, but I think the majority of those big moves are going to be to the downside, at least for that first hour, hour and a half. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. The next update will be over the weekend. I'll do a special, but for sure, Sunday, October 3rd will be the next update.